Morning, everyone. How is everybody? Just waiting for the computer to catch up so I make sure I stay on task. And while I'm waiting, thank you ever so much for shopping with me. These are free videos, and I love to share my art with everyone and hopefully give some tips along the way that makes your crafting life a little easier. If you could subscribe, like, share, or any of those that you'd like, I would really appreciate it. It would help my video immensely. Come on. Computer's slow today. It is Friday. How is everybody's Friday? There we go. Nope, that's last week's. Well, that's not good. Come on. Don't you love technology? It just works so well most of the time, right? Okay, where am I? I am live. Somebody say hi if you're out there. I do not see me live. It says I'm live, but it is not coming up. Why? Why, oh why? We're going to be talking about, while I'm waiting, we're going to be talking about last week's video where I prepped some pieces and today I turned them into pages, excuse me, for you. So I'm just going to go through and explain how I did that, and I still have 2 more to do. Let me refresh, that's probably my problem. There we go. All right. Sorry about the long delay, everybody. I guess I needed to refresh my computer so I could see what's going on. Oh my goodness. Let's see. All right, there we go. And we're always a little crooked. I don't know why. Okay, let's get rid of that volume. Okay, so we'll tuck that out of the way. The first thing I want to talk about is, okay, we had our page partially done. I'm going to show you the rest of it and show you what I did. So here is the first half. I'm going to show you how to put these bits together. But if you remember from last week, we had all of these pieces down. I still need to go back and on this side glue these down. I forgot about that. It's okay. All right, so the first thing is we had all these down. I added some more stuff. You'll also notice on here, hopefully you can see it, that I added some shimmer trim in pine color, which is the color that I introduced into this kind of neutral background, if you will, of the papers that I picked. So because I already had those papers and I didn't want to put the sparkle there, I went and got a piece of printer paper and I just cut it down to the size I needed, like so. And I went and got my green pine, shake it up really good. None of this was on here. That wasn't on here. Put it in my, oh, sorry about that. Put it in my splatter box, which is just one of our, we call them pizza boxes, because they look about the size of a pizza box. So you take the lid off after you've shaken it really good, and I have found, let me see, I'll put a piece of this in so you can see the difference. Oops. That already had sticky on it, sorry. Okay. And there is some on here. Let's put this in here. All right. So if I just barely hold it and tap, see how I'm getting bigger pieces? The thing is going up and down, and I'm getting bigger splots. Where if I hold it tight, you're going to get a lot more, and they're going to be a lot more little bits in too. So if you only want a few, hold it loose. If you want it tight, bigger drops. You can push in the middle. That'll send more down from the barrel. But remember, it could be a big old blob. So be careful. Test it off of your project first if you push that button. okay? Or if you push that part of the barrel, because it will give you a lot if you push too much, okay? So that's how I did that. And the shimmer brushes you can find. I didn't write this one down. If you need the number for that, let me know. Otherwise, go to my website and in the search bar, just put Pine Shimmer Brush and it should come up for you. Okay, get rid of that. So that's how I did that since it was already added to the page. All right, so this is side one. And here's all the little bits that I was playing with. And I will show you how I put these together. Okay, so I sponged with Pine ink and my blending brush. Sorry, I have a couple of contraband ones before we got our Close to My Heart ones. And I just dipped it in the pine ink, which matches the pine, everything else. This color will be back this month. It is Z6540, and I just sponged, okay? Start light and add more. It's easier to add and blend if you start light and let that ink get into the fibers, and then your next coat will go much better. So here's another thing that I love about Close to My Heart. This little ornament comes from the card making, which is current this month, CMO 019. This set will be back this month, and this is where I took the bow and the ornament, and it's even got a little topper. So as you can see, I did this one in the lighter side of pine. Oh, it might be sage. That might be sage. And then the little cap I did in mink or linen. And the reason why I say or is because I just put my extra bits in here. And then I can use them. They're right where I need them. And I can get back to them quickly. So I already had that punched out and the other one. Let me get my adhesive. Here it is. And we will start putting this together. All right. So I like this new Tombow Mono Air permanent adhesive. It's refillable and it's kind of the little dots. So what's nice about that is this is going to be a little bit difficult, right, to glue onto here. So I glue up by the top where it's got the biggest part that I can glue to hold on to. And then I always have a little scratch paper to stamp on or test stuff on, test colors on, glue on, so that way my surface stays a little cleaner. And I can just lightly go over here and get some adhesive on the back of that, okay? So then I'm gonna take my circle and I'm gonna turn it over and I'm gonna put it onto there. Oh, I started explaining. This little circle is just from a circle pack of different sizes of circles, and it's in the Essentials catalog. And Close to My Heart is always very good about what circles do we have, what size do we need to make things. So you will find that that works so well. So just another reason why I love Close to My Heart. Now, I've got a second white one. Why, you might ask? Well, first things first. We've got a little bit of adhesive here on the top where we don't need it. Take your Write and Rub eraser, which is Z1205, and just gently go over it and pick up that extra adhesive. And that little green, just that little pine behind there, just adds just enough, just what we need. Okay. All right, so another tip with your Write and Rub eraser. I've cleaned off most of this, but you can see it gets little goobers. If you go and just rub your hand or your thumb across it, it will put those into a nice big chunk that you can pick off. Put that in the garbage can. and then your right and rub eraser. You know, you've got to do a little cleanup now and then, okay? So just rub your fingers over it, kind of a little aggressively, and it should, at least my fingers are very dry, because, you know, I can't wear lotion when we're doing stamping. And then you can keep your eraser pretty clean. Don't forget to tidy up. All right, next. So we've got this white one that we're obviously going to put on the back. But first, I'm going to put some adhesive down, because what I want to do is position these little bits. Oh, let me tell you where I got these little bits. Don't be afraid to use the papers you love, the stamps you love. As you can see, these little bits of fir tree pieces, the little greenery pieces, I don't know, you tell me what you want to call it, were too small. I wanted something a little bigger. So I went and pulled out a retired stamp set CM002. This was actually with a card making kit, and I believe this one is still available. It was a couple of days ago, okay? So the point is, go and search your stash. And you can also see I used this one on here. I just cut it in half. And I'll show you where the other half went in a minute. All right, so we've got some adhesive on here, and I just want to stick my leaves down, or my branches, whatever you want to call them. Okay, and you can kind of see, can do it about the same. Get the angle right. Okay, you can see that this little bit is sticking out. So just go on the back, cut that off. All right, so now we've got all of this, right? And it's not super tacked down, so that's why I'm going to take this circle and add it to the back of this one. It just gives us another place to glue all those together, okay? And these are pretty thick, so the next thing we're going to do is put our bow on, and you can still adjust it just slightly. Bring that down just a little. So I went and used the bow from that same kit, and I put a glue dot in the middle, and then we're just going to stick that on the top of there. And now we've got much more, what do I want to say, much more thickness and coverage that we can just add a little bit of adhesive on here and the back, because we want to hold that on good. And then we can put it onto our page. And this is just a strip of the pine glitter. And there we go. We've got our page done. Second page is over here. I just kind of mimicked, let's see, hopefully you can see all of this. I just kind of mimicked the first side. This Merry Christmas is in charcoal on the light side. And what I wanted to tell you here is, especially words or little tiny things like this would have been good to have some of this double adhesive sheet on the back of it, because then you could just peel and stick and don't have to worry about trying to get little tiny glue dots, right? So the adhesive sheets are Z5022, and they come 12 by 12 sheets. You just cut them up. You just peel off the one side, and I usually, I'm going to peel this one off just to show you. It's double sticky. So I just peel like half of it off once I've got my letters, or before I put my letters on, figure out, you know, how big you need. And I just peel off half of it and situate it, and then peel it back as you go to get it onto your cardstock nice and straight. Now you can also go back, and I could do a bunch of other little stuff on here still, okay? So they come 12 by 12 sheets. I believe there's 3 in a package, which is good. And that's how I did the words much easier. This, like I said, I just cut it apart in between the 2 little branches and stuck that down first. Made some little journaling lines. And there you go. So there's number 1. All right. number 2 was is the other one that I put on the notice of when I was coming on. And I was using the mix-ins paper, okay? And let's see. What do I want to show you first? All right, so I put the paper together. I'll just show you the page. I put the paper together. Remember, I had a big enough piece, and this just fit in the hole that was left, okay? And it's just the zip strip. All right, then I went and got a plate about the size I wanted, and I had a brown Sharpie marker, and I just drew around the plate. Little tip, go and wash that plate off right away because you will have a brown edge on your plate. It came right off, but if you leave it on there, it might not because Sharpie is permanent. So I just drew one shape, and then I just freehand and drew around until I got it to where I wanted it, okay? All right. The next thing I did was, again, don't be afraid to mix old and new. This is all mix-ins paper. All these words and little bits and pieces are from last catalog's SVG files. But if you don't have SVG files, maybe you have buttons. Maybe you have some of these little bits and pieces in a stamped version. Again, this would have been good if I would have, this one not so hard, but this one would have been good to have that adhesive back, but I forgot. You know, unless it's right in front of your face, you forget. That's okay. So this is also just glued down at the bottom, so that way I can stick my photo in. Same with this. So what I did is I just picked out the pieces I wanted, cut them out in the colors I wanted that I thought would look good on this, or garden theme, you know, earthy tones. And then I went and grabbed some of my old bits and pieces. This is pine cardstock, and this is sage cardstock, but the little brown and green, this is actually pine, and this is colonial white, which looked better than white. And it just works. So don't be afraid to mix and match and use your bits that you have left. Let me show you what that was. It was from this pack and this pack, and I just threw them all in one. So this is from the Crisp Air, and you might look on the clearance, you might find them. And this one is Freshly Baked. I think that one is gone now. But again, pull from your stash. That's what I'm doing. That's what you can do. Little word about SVGs. I cut them on my Cricut because that's what I have. SVG files can be cut on whatever cutting system you have. There's Cricut. There's SureCut. There's 2 or 3 of them, okay? You do have to glue some bits and pieces together. And this was supposed to be layered on top of here, but I just tore them apart. This was just a little cluster that you could do different colors, so I did that. I love this little barrel. So it's got the bottom piece, the lighter top half piece, and then these 3 bands, and then this little handle. Isn't that cute? So I'll show you a close-up. And that brown Sharpie just worked. So there you go. And I can use this for all of my gardening pictures. When I take pictures of my flowers or my flower beds, you know, we change stuff up once in a while, so this will work. So there's number 2. And now, like I said, there's going to be 2 bonus ones because I did not get this one done, which I was going to do, I don't know, something like this. And then this one, which I don't know if I'm going to cut it up a little bit and maybe make 2 pages, or maybe just make another garden page since this has the greens and stuff, and maybe do flowers. I know what my flower colors are out in my yard, so I can introduce them to this neutral palette. This one, I'm thinking of maybe doing some poinsettias, however you say that. I'm doing the flowers, Christmas flowers, and some ivy and stuff. So those will have to be bonus pages. Sorry, I just couldn't get them all done. And then I have a card for you. Now, this one here, I'm going to pull back just for a sec. Remember last week, or if you didn't watch it, go and watch last week's. But I had these same size bits that I cut down for cards. And you can see that I I kind of played with those a bit, okay? So I kind of was thinking, you know, same thing, doing something kind of like that on a card, okay? On a standard size card. So, but I went another direction. And this is the card I came up with. So, what did I use? The words are from next month's Stamp of the Month, which is absolutely gorgeous. Oops. Let me get that out of the way so you can see what it is. Come here. Oh, come out of there. Sorry. Technical difficulties. Okay. So this is the stamp. This is the Stamp of the Month, and usually they don't have thin cuts, but every once in a while they've just started. And this is one I feel like you could really use the thin cuts. If you're a VIP and you spend $50, you still get the stamp set for free. You're just buying the thin cuts, okay? Which are really nice. So that's where I use this Happy Holidays. All right. Let me check my notes now, make sure that I've told you everything that I needed to do. Okay, told you about that. All right, now, the tree bundles. There is a tree bundle in the current catalog, which gives you 2, and I know you can't see that very well. Sorry. The glare sometimes is not good. Let me pull these out, and hopefully that will be better. There we go. Hopefully you can see that a little better. So there is trees on one of the stencils and plain trees on the other stencil. Remember, you can buy these individually or you can get them in a bundle, which I did the bundle so I don't have the stencils, what the number is. Then there's a cute stamp set that works in all of those stencil pieces, and it is D2204 Triangle Trees, and they're so cute. Look at this one. Wouldn't that be, put a little top on it and have a little tassel? So think of your trees as other than just trees and triangles, okay? And then this is going to be back in this month, and this is, all of us consultants really liked it, so you're going to see a lot. This is the stencil thin cuts for the triangle trees, which is Z8064. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different trees, which is great, or 5 different banners. This would be a cute big banner for a birthday, a baby announcement, I mean, retirement. You just let your brain go, all right? So there's that. So for this card, on the words, I used Mocha, which will be back this month, and Sage to stamp the tree. And then a marker, which is retired now, the dark red blend, but I know a lot of you have them. So I wanted to let you know what it was. Now, this tree, at first, I thought I would want a bigger tree. And then I'm like, that's too big. So I stuck the next die into this one and made a cutout of this. So then I went and got a piece of white, stamped my stamp that matches that size, and look at that. I've got another tree for later. So think of how you can use them differently. Again, this could be a banner, and you could throw paper in there, you know, your whatever theme it is, say birthday, you can throw balloons or whatever presents and stuff, and then put your alphabet maybe of happy birthday, or the birthday person's name, or how old they are this year, all that kind of stuff, or just balloons on it, or whatever, presents. So don't think of it as just trees or triangles, or just the shape that you get when you cut out the triangle, because you can do other things. All right, so as I said, I made it into little banners, and this little curly one, in case you're wondering, is a retired one. And it actually has a hole in the middle, but it works great. Again, this works. This is one of our circle thin cuts that there's several sizes of. So that last page where I had the ornaments, that was in there as well. Oh, thank you, Nancy. I'm glad you liked it. So don't be afraid to pull out the stuff you've already purchased. Yeah, it's old stuff, it's retired, but you have it. You can use it. You can add old and new together. Doesn't matter, okay? A couple more things that I used that I forgot to tell you on the Christmas one. The Merry Christmas is actually from 2 sets that are current in the catalog. I got the Merry from the Merry and Bright, which is Z8061. And I got the Christmas Wishes, which is Z8062. Christmas Wishes, that's what the thin cuts are, Christmas Wishes. This one will be back this month. This one says Merry, and I believe there's an and in there. Let's just double check. Merry and Bright. But, again, think about it. Merry Christmas. The and you could use anywhere. Wishes you could use anywhere. Bright you might be able to use anywhere. You don't have to just use them as they come, as Merry and Bright for Christmas. And we all want words we don't have to cut out or individually stamp with alphabets, although some people like that, so I'm not saying you can't. But it just adds to your words arsenal, okay? So, as you can see, I just used the bits and pieces, and I even cut out a little bit for the trunk. Now, on this extra bit of bucket, I was trying different colors, and I didn't even have these 2 little stripes, so I just added the 1. And I actually like it a little plainer, okay? And then I added, oh, there's where I used the marker, in case you wanted to know. This one I had 1 extra, so I just turned it around. I was thinking about maybe doing a card this way, but I changed it up. And here's another tip. I started with, I knew I wanted something in the background, and I started with this piece, and I got to thinking, it just needs something. I don't know what. And the same with this circle. It needed a little something more. And it's usually just another layer. That red kind of grounds it, where when it was just this toffee color and the white, it kind of just floated off the page, if you will. Same thing with this. It was just, I don't know, to me, I would say blah. It needed a little something, and I think that little scallop just added to it perfectly, okay? So, again, I would like to know, I will have 2 more pages to do, like I said, the 2 more layouts, but I want to know which is your favorite. Is it layout number 1? Hi, Linda, how are you? Thank you for watching. Layout number 1. Single page layout number 2. Or card number 3. You can just say card. So 1 and 2 on the layouts or the card. Which is your favorite? Which ideas do you think you want to try and implement into your crafting? And I'd really like to know that. And also, if you have any ideas for me for upcoming videos, that would be greatly appreciated too. Again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. I know that this is on Facebook, but you can go to my YouTube channel. It's Jackie Bloom, and it's 311. It's either 5 or 7. Just put in Jackie Bloom and you'll find me. And all my videos are there. If you go way back to the beginning, which is, I don't know, 2 or 3 years now, they're not going to be as polished or as bright or maybe as loud. So just keep that in mind. You know, we all have to start somewhere. I hope you all have a great, wonderful weekend, and I will see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.